Panic on a military base. Several people fall ill after opening a letter containing a suspicious substance. Plus, a battle between lawmakers and Delta Airlines after they cut ties with the NRA. But first, we're getting our first glimpse into numbers behind the North Dakota Senate race.
This is West Dakota Fox News at 9 with Molly Martinez and meteorologist Henry Blakes. Your first news of the night starts right now on West Dakota Fox News at 9.
Good evening, I'm Molly Martinez. Voting day for the U.S. North Dakota Senate seat is still ways off, but today we're getting our first look at how the race is shaping up. A new poll indicates that incumbent Democrat Heidi Heitkamp has a narrow lead over Republican Kevin Cramer. That lead is 43-40, with 17% of respondents undecided. The poll of 385 people was conducted online by Gravis Marketing with a margin of error of 5%. Heitkamp trails among Trump supporters by a wide margin, but has led among women, and Cramer has a slight lead with older voters.
I think North Dakota is a key state. If the Democrats are going to win the Senate this year, they have to win North Dakota. It's a state that many think that the Republicans will pick up just based on how Trump performed in North Dakota.
The poll also looked at the U.S. House race, where Tom Campbell leads the Republican pack at 28%. Kelly Armstrong is in second with 13%, but nearly half the voters say they're undecided. For full results, you can visit yournewsleader.com. Now let's throw it over to a man who always has my vote, meteorologist Henry Blakes.
Why, thank you. We've got some nice weather across the viewing area today.
Thank you, Henry. The Bismarck Public Works Department is left to fill a $1 million gap in funding after the city commissioner voted to set a utility fee at $250 instead of $750. Megan Hoffman is here with the details. Megan?
Set to go into effect on January 1st, the new fee would have charged all lot owners a $750 monthly fee, a fee which was previously only charged to lots with a water meter. However, there was pushback from groups that own those pieces of land and don't use water lines, with some saying it would cost them thousands of extra dollars each year. The city settled on a $2.50 fee for all properties with water lines. Now, the Public Works Department is trying to figure out how to complete all the necessary projects with more than $1 million less in revenue this year.
It's kind of an unknown risk that we're taking on, but these are projects that when we're looking at the other ones, there's other ones that were far more important that we did actually need to move forward. So we tried to weigh the risks and the benefits of those projects.
Projects that are taking hits include connecting stormwater and sewer lines, lift station repairs, manhole relocations, and more.
Police arrested a Garrison man in connection with an early morning fire at the Radisson Hotel in Bismarck. Bismarck police say the 35-year-old Nicholas Yellowbird started a fire in 3 different places inside the lobby restroom. Yellowbird was arrested for endangering by fire or explosion. According to Sergeant Mark Bushina, the Radisson had 128 rooms rented out at the time of the fire. Today, the Supreme Court heard the case of a man convicted of murdering his ex-wife in Minot back in 2015. Richie Wilder Jr.'s attorney argued that the state did not follow proper procedures regarding their client's Miranda rights. They also argued that the judge's timing of the barring him from seeing his children was inappropriate. He made the ruling during sentencing. The court says the case will be taken under advisement. We're learning the identity of a Wishick man who died over the weekend in a snowmobile crash. Police say 32-year-old Wayne Halverson died Saturday when his sled went off the trail and ran into a tree. The accident happened in eastern Idaho. A Watford City man was just charged with negligent homicide for his involvement in a fatal crash. Police say 19-year-old Luis Saldana was going 45 and a 25 when he struck another vehicle, killing the driver. Saldana faces 5 years in prison if convicted. There's a new family resource center in Washburn designed to help children and victims of sexual and domestic abuse. The reason? According to McLean County Sheriff's Department, there's been an uptick in cases. Daniela Hurtado shows us this new facility that will serve as a safe haven.
The center has been renting spaces for the more than 4 decades that they have been opened. 3 years ago, they got approved to actually purchase a new building. That's a building you see behind me. It's closed now, but in just a few short months, it will be up and running. They tell me the project has cost more than $600,000. the start of a new beginning for many.
Really helping clients throughout the county that need our assistance and want to come somewhere private and inviting and welcoming.
The debt of the center will be paid off by donations and fundraising efforts.
Victims of crimes reach out to the Resource Center for the other infrastructure support they have, the food pantry, the clothing pantry that they're going to be reestablishing.
The new center provides backdoor entrances for victims to have more privacy. They look forward to opening this new facility at the start of June. This weekend, they will continue raising funds at an event to pay off the rest of the debt for this new building. Reporting in Washburn for West Dakota Fox News at 9, I'm Daniela Hurtado.
Horizon Middle School in Bismarck is getting an eco makeover. Endeavor Refinery is funding the $59,000 project that will turn the school entrance into an outdoor community learning center. Cynthia McLaughlin shows us a look.
Down to the...
This land will soon be filled with wetlands and prairie grasses. The idea for the Endeavor Outdoor Community Learning Center came about because Jim Collins says North Dakotans are losing touch with the outdoors.
And what this site's designed to do is get people back in touch with that. Learn about prairie, rangeland, wetlands, forestry, soils, geology, botany, zoology, all those subjects.
Incoming sixth graders will help develop the project this summer.
And it's wonderful that it's a community project and that it's not just a learning spot for Horizon, but it's a learning spot for the entire community and schools in the area.
7-foot tall shelter.
The shelters will also utilize interactive technology.
So you'll be able to walk up with your smartphone, zap a QR code, and up will pop a video that's done by the students of Horizon explaining what a wetland is, what a watershed is.
It may just be some snow-covered hills now, but Collins says the project is expected to be completed by the start of school next fall. Reporting from Horizon Middle School, Cynthia McLaughlin, West Dakota Fox, News at 9.
Well, they say there's no such thing as free lunch, but the Bismarck School District is helping families who struggle to pay for their children's lunches. Through donations of others, parents who pay off some of the negative lunch balance, the school district will match that amount.
We feed kids no matter what. We're going to feed them whether they're negative 500 in the hole or negative 50 cents in the hole. We're going to feed them, and we're going to try work with the parents to get that balance paid off.
So far, only a handful of people have donated. Anyone can donate on My Payments Plus. We've talked for months about the needs for an emergency homeless shelter in Bismarck and Mandan, and the United Way has put the pieces together to create one. But there's a lesser-known facility that's already available to fill part of that need. The Welcome House provides 3 rooms for families and 1 room for single women. The director says it provides shelter, 3 meals a day, and 2 snacks for $25 a week. For more information, you can find the Welcome House on Facebook. Still ahead, several people are rushed to the hospital after a military base receives a letter containing a mysterious substance. That story next.
And mild weather continues, but change is underway for the weekend. Stay tuned for your complete forecast.
Your complete weather forecast right here on West Dakota Fox News at 9.
Several people were rushed to the hospital this afternoon after an unknown substance spilled out of a letter. It happened at the Joint Base Meyer-Henderson Hall in Arlington, Virginia. Officials say about 11 people started feeling ill shortly after the letter was opened. 3 of them were taken to the hospital as a precaution and are listed as in stable condition. And a tricky trench rescue today after a building material collapsed on a worker in Brooklyn, New York. Crews were able to strap the worker onto a backboard and pull him out. Right now, there's no word on that worker's condition. And cleanup begins in Newport Beach, California after a water main break causes a small landslide. Crews were out this morning clearing the road and repairing the leak. No injuries or major damage was reported in the area. Residents in Malden, Missouri are picking up today after an EF2 tornado tears through the south part of town. Tornado damaged 64 homes and injured 4 people. An estimated $2 million in damages is expected. And dozens of inmates in Illinois maximum security prisons face charges for their participation in this brawl. The February 16th incident was caught on surveillance camera. 2 inmates were taken to the hospital for injuries and homemade weapons after the fight. Grand jury has indicted 16 of the inmates on mob action charges. And an Arizona high school was forced to cancel classes today after receiving threats of a potential school shooting. Police say threats were made on social media against Gila Ridge High School. Police are now investigating the validity of those threats. Georgia Republicans are firing back at Delta Airlines after the company cut ties with the NRA. The state's Lieutenant Governor Casey Cagle threatened to kill a proposed tax break for the company, saying on Twitter Monday that corporations cannot attack conservatives and expect us not to fight back. Delta announced they would end NRA discounts, joining dozens of other companies who decided to cut ties with the NRA following the Florida school shooting that left 17 people dead. A new report claims the government is hiding the salaries of over 250,000 federal workers. That's based on findings from openbooks.com. They say the government concealed 255,000 salaries this year, which conceals roughly $20 billion. The company calling it a, quote, classic case of bureaucracy protecting bureaucracy. Speaking of federal jobs, Chief of Staff John Kelly demoted Jared Kushner last week, according to the administrative staffer at the White House. Kelly downgrading Kushner's security clearance back on February 23rd from interim top secret to interim secret. The move now changing Kushner's role. He says he will not be able to access sensitive national security information despite being an interim security clearance role. In real estate news, new home sales tumble across the country for the second straight month in January. Sales slipped 33.3% in the Northeast in January and 14.2% in the southern region. The median price of a new home dropped $323,000 in January, down 4.1% from $336,000 in December. Here's something to think about when you buy your next home. The Barcelona Institute for Public Health finding children raised in more green space have higher cognitive function. Researchers looked at over 200 kids who lived in more residential areas from birth through age 10. Children living near grass have more white and gray matter in areas of the brain associated with higher test scores. More green space exposure also predicts better working memory and focus. Speaking of brains, researchers at the University of Waterloo found that anxiety may be connected with having a sharper memory. The study focused on 80 undergraduate students. They found that those who reported feeling some sort of anxiety were better at remembering events than people who were less stressed out. Rough waters working its way through parts of the UK, tabloids dubbing the winter storm system the beast from the east, as snow and high winds bring low temperatures to much of the United Kingdom. Doctors say they're having trouble coping with the influx of patients affected by the weather. More winter weather abroad, this time in Naples, Italy. Snowball fights broke out across the city. The unusual wintry weather closing schools and causing problems with transportation all over Italy. Let's take now a look at how we're doing with meteorologist Henry Blakes.
Hey, it looks like we'll be talking about snow not until the weekend. So
Disney just announced a $2.5 billion expansion for their park in Paris. Disney Group says the development will include 3 new areas based on Marvel superheroes, as well as Frozen and Star Wars movies. Disneyland Paris is Europe's most visited theme park. Disney using some of Black Panther's record box office earnings to help kids across the nation. Marvel Studios announced it will donate $1 million to Boys and Girls Clubs of America. The money will be used to support youth science, technology, engineering, and math programs at 12 locations nationwide. Since its release on February 16th, Black Panther has raked up more than $700 million in earnings worldwide. Well, according to the News and World Report, North Dakota tops the list for highest quality of life in the country. It's also #1 for its growth of its youth population, labor force participation, has the lowest food insecurity, and does well at balancing the budget. But when taking into consideration 77 metrics, including healthcare, education, economy, infrastructure, and crime, North Dakota ranks 4th overall for the 2nd year in a row. Iowa is first, followed by Minnesota and Utah. Over now to one of the reasons we're so high on that list, meteorologist Henry Blakes.
Hey, weather-wise, we're looking pretty nice for tomorrow. Maybe some areas of fog, not as widespread, but don't be surprised if you do run into some. Otherwise, we are going to be starting out in the teens, and before you know it, we'll be back into the 30s. Southwest wind tomorrow 5 to 10, near 15 across the southwest from Dickinson and surrounding areas. Looking at the week ahead, it's going to be nice at least until the weekend. Friday, slight chance of snow snow and a bit breezy, but at least we're going to be mild. Breezy with snow across the north on Saturday and a wintry mix and some accumulating snow for the second half of your weekend.
Hey, we're happy to be in North Dakota and we're happy you're watching. We'll see you tomorrow.